in studio? I didn't even know this was happening. Gillie Da Kid in studio? There we go.
Yes.
What's up, bro?
Welcome.
Hey, you know what's going on. We turn it up, baby.
Now, Ike says in his head he can do the dance.
Right.
But in his head,
God, don't do it.
Just in his head? He
says in his head.
I think I could pull it off.
Gil, I've been practicing, man. It's bad, man. It's bad, man.
Can we get a lesson in studio?
They try and get a moment out of me.
Yes. Let's get a moment out of the legend.
They trying to get a moment out of me, Gillie.
Well, I know one thing. I know one part of it that everybody could do.
Okay.
The Conor McGregor.
The Conor McGregor.
Hey, there you go.
We got that, yes. Got that. Yeah. I got to do the whole
1, 2, 3.
There you go. You've been working on it. Yeah. There we go.
I got the legend doing.
Listen, man. Listen, you. My God, you want to talk about the card first?
Well, okay, yeah.
Yes.
You got the own Gillie Da Kid training card now.
Yes.
So you can get it at SpecterSportsArt.com.
Yes.
It's like, this is a cool looking thing, man.
I don't even have a card, Gil.
I got you.
What's going on, man?
I got to make sure I get y'all some up here by tomorrow.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. $30. Not a bad deal at all.
It's good memorabilia for just so you can always remember this was a great season.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're going to end this thing off right. I just feel it.
Well, and it must be.
I feel our energy is just better than Kansas City's right now.
Yeah.
Well,
you got a lot to do with that energy, brother. You got a lot to do with it.
Well, it's crazy because one of my nephews, Isaiah Rogers, he hit me and he says, "Oh man, you got the whole city turned up," and I had to correct him. I said, "No, y'all got the whole city turned up. I'm just doing my job." You know?
Yep.
If you guys don't win, nothing that I do doesn't mean anything.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
so you guys got the city
no
turned up.
losing team has a theme song.
Right,
It's only the good teams that have theme songs.
Right.
Well, and it must be extra special, right? Because you love the Eagles.
Yes.
And it's not just like the Phillies had a great song, but they just picked it, right? It just happened. You love the Eagles. Yes. So this connection that it happened must be so special for you right now.
It's not even something that I was planning. I just, I think that we live in a time right now where people love authenticity.
Yep.
And they love the raw, and everybody is scripted, and they got to look a certain way, they got to act a certain way, and the fact that Gillie I just don't care. Like I don't care. Like, you gotta understand.
Just keep your hand on that dump button in there, Jack.
Yeah, I got one here.
I just don't care.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You gotta understand. I'm 48 years old, and I showed up to the arena in a full uniform. Like, I actually had, we ran on the field, and I started crying. Yeah. And I looked at Kenneth Gainwell, and I was like, I love this. And Kenneth Gainwell looked at me like.
So let me ask you this:
you're more fired up than they are.
Like, you know you're not playing, right?
Right. But here's the funny thing, though, man. I've been following you for years. I've been following you. You know, I follow you, man. You are so entertaining. You and Wallow.
Thank you, man.
Love what you guys are doing. You're a great representation of this city. I think you and Wallow, you live out the life of what a lot of people dream about being able to do. Absolutely. Right? And when we say you're a Philadelphia sports fan in general.
In general.
Yeah, you're a
Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Wings, Sixers, Temple.
Yes. He loves Philadelphia. So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How did you get the opportunity to lead the team out on the field, right? You're running out there, and I got to ask you, were you worried about falling?
No.
You didn't worry about tripping or anything? When
tripping, I would have just got up and continued to run. One thing about me, man, I'm never concerned about it, embarrassing myself. I done been embarrassed plenty of times. I actually post things on my social media to embarrass myself. It's entertainment for me. Right. So for me, man, I love those guys so much. And one thing that I always tell those guys is, man, we love you, OG. You'll never be a fan to me like I'm a fan to you. Right. Remember that, kid. You know what I mean? I had to let them know, you got to understand, when you guys lose, it feel like a third cousin passed away. Like that whole week is like we come from one of the poorest cities in America. So just the morale of the people when the Eagles win that week, it's a lot better than when they lose.
And we talk about a lot. Philly's different than just about every city in America. Like I've lived New York, Chicago, LA. They all love their sports teams, but it's not like Philly where, like you said, when the Eagles are winning, everybody's involved. It's like this thing where we all become one, and when they lose, everybody's bummed out.
Absolutely.
It changes the whole vibe of the city.
It changes the temperature of the city.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about what I'm doing, I'm just bringing positive energy to the city. So it's young, old, black, white, blue, brown, purple. It don't matter. It's we all have a connection. It's like you could go to the club and nobody in the club could like each other. But when you turn a certain song on, you forget that you don't even like the people in the club. You like, hey. So for me, it's just providing a moment where everybody could come together.
So how did you come across Blow the Whistle? How did that? I remember the first videos of you doing it.
Yeah.
So I remember you doing it before it actually blew up, but it actually has blown up and become somewhat of the theme song for the Eagles this year.
Yes.
Why Blow the Whistle?
Because
from Too Short, everybody out there, in case you don't know who
because
it is.
First of all, Too Short's a legend, number one. The song is legendary. It wasn't necessarily legendary in Philadelphia.
Right.
But it's a legendary song, and Blow the Whistle is kind of like a sports type of theme. You know what I mean? So I just figured I'll start my day off with Just Like Candy to let the other team know that y'all sweet, man. We're going to run through y'all today, man. Eat y'all up like a Snickers, man. Y'all sweet. And then after we win, we celebrate with Blow the Whistle.
Yeah.
Speaking of celebrations, we saw video you in the locker room afterwards.
Oh man, that was that was awesome.
You grabbed Howie pretty tight, man. Was he the same after that? Like,
let's be for real, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes those guys at the top and those guys behind the scene don't get told as much as how appreciated they are.
Right.
You know, Howie really kills the draft, man.
He does.
You know what I mean? And Howie's really great at what he does. And I just wanted to let him know that we have the greatest GM in all of football, and you're appreciated. And I had to let Jeffrey Lurie know as well, man, we have the greatest owner in football. You know what I mean? Where else do you see a fan in the locker room?
Right.
And Jeffrey actually knows me. I know Jeffrey. I know his son. They invited me down last year during the playoffs because they said the temperature not right, Gillie. Get the temperature right in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I went around and I talked to everybody from the linebackers to even one of the guys that's still mad at me today, Quez Watkins. You know, shout out to Quez.
Well, he deserved that.
Yeah. One thing about Gillie is that he is authentic all the time.
Keep it real.
Right.
So you got to understand, I bump into Quez last year, right? And I say, you know I'm the biggest Eagle fan in the world, right? I say, I read every article and everything. He said, I didn't know that, OG. I said, okay, well, in the article in the beginning of the season, you said this was your year. He shook his head. I said, it wasn't. No, you got to understand.
Straight to him.
You got to understand Howie's standing right here next to me.
Right.
I said, it wasn't. I said, but let me tell you something. Good players is made during the regular season. Legends is made in the playoffs. A.J. Brown is hurt. You have a chance to become a legend. What are you going to do? And he said, I got you, OG. I said, that don't even sound confident, man. And then the kid had like 2 receptions for 8 yards.
He didn't got you.
He ain't got me.
Yeah.
He ain't get me. He ain't got me. So, and I kind of went in hard on him on social media, and I felt a little bad. I was just emotional.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, you got to step up. When it's time to be great, man, you got to be great.
Those are some of your best videos, though, when you're upset.
Yes, because it's raw.
You haven't had to be upset at all this
I
year.
haven't been upset all this. Even when we lost, it didn't even feel bad.
Like,
it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also want to ask, you know, a lot of the mainstream media, I haven't seen a lot of apologies being given to Nick Sirianni, who 13 weeks ago, they need to get him out of the building. They need a nuke. I haven't seen a lot of I apologize given to Jalen Hurts. Oh, he's a bum that just keeps ending up in the Super Bowl. But all of these guys who aren't bums, I mean, let me just ask you this question. I sit around, I hear about these guys talk about Aaron Rodgers, who played dinosaur years in the NFL. I'm talking about he's a Tyrannosaurus in the NFL. He's been to one Super Bowl, but he's so great. Lamar, it's my guy. No disrespect to Lamar. This ain't about Lamar. This is about the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been to a Super Bowl, has he?
He has not.
Nope.
What about Josh Allen?
Has not been to a Super Bowl.
Has he been to a Super Bowl? Joe Burrow, he's been to one?
One.
What are we talking about? Like, I'm just about accomplishing things. Like, and I had an argument with some people, and I said, if you had to pick a career between Aaron Rodgers and Eli Manning's, who career are you picking? Because at the end of the day, this is just about Super Bowls.
I might pick Aaron Rodgers'
I'm not
career.
picking Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
So you mean to tell me,
Yeah.
if we said, okay, we can draft this kid today, and we could draft this kid today, and when their careers end with the Eagles, one kid is going to have one Super Bowl, and the other kid is going to have two Super Bowls. What kid are you picking? I mean, this just is common sense to me.
He wants the 2 Super Bowls.
I don't care about MVP trophies and not Super Bowl trophies.
I got you.
They giving Lamar Jackson, I think, his third one this year.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have right now, Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, that keeps ended up in the Super Bowl mysteriously?
Lamar Jackson.
Well, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson, but I'd rather have this team than that team. No. Yes.
What it tells me,
I would. But,
what it tells me are you're a stats guy. You go with stats and what look good. See, I understand the Philly mentality. Yeah. I understand we not a pretty city. We a gritty city.
That's for sure.
Everything we get is out the mud. We supposed to be old school, run first, run first, run first. Play action fake, gotcha. Because when I was growing up as a kid, that was winning football, right? You hand it to Emmett. You hand it to Emmett again. You hand it to Emmett again. Soon as them linebackers like Ike and them say, they going to Emmett. No, they not. They going to Mike over the top. That's how we play, brother. So, for us, 5 years, 2 Super Bowls, playoffs every year as a starter.
Has been great.
Come on, man. What are we talking about, man?
Gillie Da Kid with us.
You going down to New Orleans? I'm assuming.
I'll be there Thursday morning.
And see, some people don't know. Gillie used to, he was a resident down there a little bit because he worked down there.
Yes, I did.
In New Orleans,
yes, I did. I was down there for
his other career.
Yes, my rap career when I was signing Cash Money. I was down in New Orleans for like 3.5, 4 years. You know what I mean?
I was in New Orleans once. I saw that band in that little room, the jazz band.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. It's a great music city.
Yeah, it's a great music scene.
Yeah, it's great music. So are you bringing JoJo and the Broom guy?
Absolutely.
Dude, let me tell you, that is the family runs to Instagram to see that every Sunday, bro.
Yeah.
You doing the blow the whistle, JoJo, the Broom guy. You got the people coming out.
Yeah. And it's
a movie every week.
And that just happened so organically.
Yeah.
I just came out. I didn't even know he was on his porch sweeping. And then I know Jake because, I pull up, hey, what's up, Jake? That's my studio house.
Yep.
And Jake lives across the street. And then he just walked over and he got in and he just did his thing. And then the next day, because Jake kind of knew I was like, famous or whatever, but he had no idea. He's 75 years. He don't have social media. He doesn't. And the next day, he's like, my whole family called me. He was like, my daughter, like, out of town, she called me like, Dad, you're all over the place. What are you doing? Like, and then I bump into his daughter says, Gillie, y'all like the best thing that happened to him. Like, I don't even know how to feel about this. She said, I can't even tell people because I don't even know how to explain it. Like, how do you explain, he was outside dancing and then my dad walked up with a broom. And now we go down the Eagles game and they got brooms down there and people walking around.
Knows, yes.
Like, she's like, this is like unbelievable. So And then Jake all last week was like, man, I just want to thank you, man. This has just been the best days of my life. And we won, and I'm like, no, Jake, this is not over yet.
I saw what you told me.
We're going to the Super Bowl, Jake. And he's like, what? And you got to understand, that was Jake's first Eagle game at 75 years old.
Oh, my God, really?
So,
and now he's going to the Super Bowl.
And you taking him to the Super Bowl with you?
Yeah.
So it was his first Eagles game was the playoffs, walking out the tunnel. Then his second game was the next game. Then his third game was the conference championship. And now we're going to the Super Bowl, and we're sitting front row.
Worth the wait.
50-yard line.
Yeah, worth the wait.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We need you there, brother, for that luck.
We're going to win, right?
Yes, sir.
We're absolutely going to win.
Because we can't just get there now. Now we got to win.
Because our energy is, the energy around Philadelphia is so good right now that the players are feeding on it unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing about this city, right? Is that when it's going bad, you don't want to leave your house.
Right.
But when it's going good, and you've said this a million times, if you're an athlete, being in Philadelphia, you win a championship in Philadelphia, you're a hero forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ever.
I'm living proof. And I haven't even won a championship.
Yeah, and you're a hero. Yeah, you're a hero nonetheless.
I'm living proof. Listen, Gillie, we love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Seriously.
Appreciate you.
You and Wallow, you
Yes.
guys are truly inspirational. Love what you're doing with the city, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping in.
All love, brother. Anytime, man.
Yep.
And again, you could get the Gillie Da Kid collectible card
Yes.
and all that. You see it at SpectorSportsArt.com.
You'll get that.
All right. Thank you for coming by, man.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah, well, we'll
King
see you
of
in New
Philly,
Orleans.
Gillie.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right.